multiple articles. And then in the fall, I ultimately finalized my crypto investment analysis. I decided I was going to figure out how these scammers worked and how you could better detect these scams, especially because they're ever more prominent today. All right, so just to give some background information, like I said, there's a lot that needed to get done if I wanted to complete this project. So starting off for the summer, I conducted multiple interviews. The first person I interviewed with was Mr. Roybal, and Mr. Roybal works in the FBI, and he deals with criminal scammers all the time. And he really got me started off on this project and gave me a good idea of where to go and how to best analyze these scams. And like I said, I had read many articles, but I also started looking into different crypto websites. So two of the websites I analyzed a lot are called Dex Screener and Pink Sale, and these are websites where you can buy cryptocurrency. And I ultimately analyzed these websites and figured out how to better detect which coins would be scams and which ones would not be. So some of the types of scams that I came across while completing my project were pump and dump, which is basically when investors will hype up a coin and then they will, with the inflated stock price, they'll sell all their shares, leaving the other investors dry. And then there's also rug pulls, which is very similar to a pump and dump scam, where the investors will just at one predetermined point, just pull out all of the funds. We also have pig butchering, which is very interesting. I found this one to be the most interesting, where scammers will try and build a relationship with people, and from there they'll get them to invest in these different scams. And then also one that's probably the most well known is the Ponzi scheme, where the fraudsters will pay initial investors with investors that are investing currently, making it seem like they're earning money when in reality they're not. And then another one is the 100% tax scam, which is where the fraudsters will place 100% tax if you want to take your funds out. So my project deals with analyzing two crypto websites, Dex Screener and Pink Scale. And on these websites, I looked for multiple details of the scam. I completed multiple Udemy courses, read a lot of articles, so that I had an idea of some red flags. And what I did is I came up with 14 different criteria that I found by analyzing these websites. And these criteria can ultimately help you to better tell if you are being scammed or not. So up on the screen, it's a little bit hard to see, but this is in Excel. So one of the criteria is many holders. So that was one of the signs I found. If there's a lot of holders, that's usually a good sign. Few holders is usually not. And then what I did is I made a ranking on a scale of 15 to 45 to determine how likely it is to be a scam. So some of the criteria, these are just 4 of the 14, but 4 of the most important. So like I mentioned, holders, usually over 1,000 holders is a good sign I found. Under 100 is usually not. So under 100 would get a score of 3 on the ranking, and then a score over 1,000 would get a score of 1. And this would all be computed in Excel via a drop-down menu. And then locked liquidity was also a big sign I found, which you want the liquidity to be locked for over a year. If it's usually under a year, that could be a sign of a potential scam. Social media presence is usually a big sign as well. The more legitimate coins that I found usually tended to have social media presence. And then consistent growth. This one, like, you don't want drops or sudden spikes in the coin. This tends not be a good sign. Could be a sign of a rug pull or a pump and dump scam. So this is the website deck screener that I analyzed. So this is just one of the coins that I came across. So one of the criteria I mentioned is the number of holders. So this one has 155 holders, which that's likely not a great sign. And as you can see, this guy holds 38.8% of the coin, which is not a great sign as well. You want it to be spread out. That was another of the 14 criteria that I came across. So this coin would likely, I determined would likely not be a good one to invest in, and you would potentially lose out on all or most of your money. So during my project, I did come across some roadblocks. Initially, I had wanted to code some type of fraud device that you could implement into your computer, but after talking to my mentor and brother Tony, we determined that this would ultimately just take far too much time and would not be able to be completed in the time frame. So it's something potentially that I could do in the future. So instead, like I mentioned, I did it all in Excel. Super easy drop down menu for the user, and that was ultimately my final product. So just touching back on my mentors, Mr. Rubel, like I mentioned, I interviewed with, and then Mr. Montalto was my mentor. He works in financial fraud for Vanguard, and he really got me kickstarted on the idea to analyze different criteria and look deeper into these scams. He's had a background he's had a lot of experience in looking into this type of stuff, working in financial fraud. So he really helped me get this project kickstarted. And then just to conclude tonight, so crypto scams are ever more present. You see them a lot more in the news currently, like FTX. And what my project ultimately aimed to do is analyze 14 criteria so that people can better detect if they're going to be scammed or not. Every year, Americans lose out on billions of dollars due to crypto scams, and if I can just limit a small number of that could be a help. And obviously, my project is not gonna be able to cover everything, but I feel like it's a good starting point and can definitely help with people doing better due diligence and keeping a lookout. Thank you. Any questions?
I have one, Aidan. How about of the coins that you studied, which would you have found that was the most legitimate? If you were to invest in one, what would it be?
Ooh.
Say Bitcoin.
I mean, well, I mean, that would be like an obvious one, but like, I don't know, there's some like smaller coins out there that looked worthy of potentially investing in, but I mean, like they some of them I came across, like they ended up resulting in a low score, which was good. So there are potentially like smaller coins out there that could be safe to invest in. You just have to look into them. Anyone else?
Well done. Thanks, buddy. And again, folks, if you want to grab a bottle of water, something to eat, please do. Next up. We could just, you emailed me, right?
Yeah, it doesn't do the transitions.
Okay, then I'll disconnect. And then you can use. Hey, Aidan, did you have the dongle?